All right, thank you for staying with the Daybreak. Before we take the reactions and feedback at Trevor Mbidi at Citizen TV Kenya using the hashtag Daybreak, Honorable Edwin Sifuna is now with us, Senator for Nairobi, and thank you so much for making time, Sifuna. Before you came in, there were three things that came up. One, Alwale said you're cowards, you were hiding in the office. Cowards. Two, he said you paid youths 1,500 shillings, and he also said that Azimio leaders should be arrested because they bear the greatest brand of responsibility. So I'll come to you right after Sifuna.
Yeah, first of all, Trevor, let me apologize to you and to your viewers for coming late. We haven't slept in Nairobi. We have had a very long night here in Nairobi because many of our people were injured during the demonstrations. Many have been nursing gunshot wounds. We have reports from Mathare, places like Embakasi. Upwards of maybe 15 people lost their lives yesterday. And it is quite disheartening to see my colleagues making jokes of this matter, because those of us who have interacted with the victims of the police brutality yesterday, we don't see anything to laugh about. I would rather be waking up this morning as an advocate to go and represent those young people if they have been arrested for whatever crime it is that they are suspected of having committed. Trevor, just the other week, our courts gave a judgment that outlawed or made it unconstitutional for people to spend lifetime in jail for whatever crime they commit. Now, you can imagine our court saying that life sentences are unconstitutional, but this regime is dishing out death sentences on the streets without ever giving these young people an opportunity to be heard. Number two, nobody is going to threaten us. There is nothing these people have said, have not said. There is nothing they can scare us with. If it is arrest, we are ready to be arrested. Because Khalwale is not a lawyer, he doesn't understand that arresting someone is not an end in itself. Because when you appear before that judge, you must demonstrate with evidence the causal link. There has to be a direct link between the action complained of and the person you're presenting before that judge or magistrate, accusing him of that crime. These people, I have said it more than enough times, they are all in agreement. They all say, yes, we should arrest Raila. What they want, what the problem is, Trevor, is that there is no one with the balls in Kenya Kwanza to actually arrest Raila. You see, these guys, this is what I'm saying. You have said this thing for over a year now. You know where Raila lives. I can take you to his house today. In fact, yesterday I was with Cherargei at a committee meeting, and I told him, as a citizen, you have a right to arrest Raila. Can I go with you now where he is? Then you arrest him, you know? Because these people just talk. You have threatened violence, you have threatened to kill us, you have threatened to assassinate us. I am telling you, Trevor, Kenyans have lost fear of this illegitimate government. And what we are doing, Trevor, you know, when an ostrich has its head in the sand, it is refusing to listen. We are going to grab that ostrich by the scruff of its neck. That head must come out of the sand, and these people must listen to Kenyans. Khalwale talks about us being cowards. He knows me. Khalwale was saying those things because I was not seated here. He can't say those things to me. He knows for a fact that Sifuna is not a coward. We always start our demonstrations at the office of the minority leader. That is our office. The office in parliament is our office, just like him. I go to my office yesterday and I left to go to the streets. We reached the offices of the Prime Minister, and we have information, Trevor, that these people have embedded goons within the police service to shoot at us. And the evidence is there, because at Kamukunji, and by the way, we have held dozens of rallies at Kamukunji. You have been there. You have seen them. What is the justification for police to fire into a crowd at Kamukunji? What is the justification? There can never be a justification for people assembled in a crowd in Kamukunji, and then you see police firing straight into the grounds. They are firing live rounds at people. What is the justification? So we want to tell Kenya Kwanza, walk the talk. You have said you're not cowards. Arrest Sifuna. Arrest Raila. Because at the end of the day, after arresting us, you have to present me before a magistrate. You have to show that magistrate that it is Sifuna who destroyed flower beds in Mlolongo. You don't just come here and talk. So please, stop talking. Start arresting.
But are you taking any responsibility?
Start arresting. Responsibility for what?
For the
I am responsible for my actions. I am responsible for my actions, Trevor. I am telling you this. Kenyans are angry. And they are not angry at us. They are angry at this government because they don't want to listen. We have been here with you 2 months debating this issue of the finance bill. That finance bill was not sponsored by Raila. And 99% of Kenyans came out to tell Kenya Kwanza that because life is difficult, please do not impose extra taxation. This is not Raila's bill. This is Ruto's bill. It is Ruto's act. It is his signature on that act. It is the signature of William Ruto.
Okay.
If he had listened to Kenyans, the sort of anger that is out there, would not be happening. And Trevor, I want to add one rider.
Yeah.
You people, this country, this illegitimate government, is better off when it is known people like Sifuna, like Raila, like Osotsi, leading these demonstrations. The day Kenyans take this matter upon themselves, Trevor, there will be no one to call to the table. It is better if you know it is Sifuna calling demonstrations. And by the way, from next week, 3 days straight of mandamano, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, until William Ruto understands that the people are suffering and repeals this law the same way that he imposed it upon them.
Okay. Osotsi, Osotsi was also called a coward. Let him respond.
You cannot talk.
He was accused of spending 1,500.
Let me tell you one thing. You see, this is how Kenya Kwanza trivializes issues.
Yeah.
The issues I said in my opening remarks were that we had excessive police brutality. And I said that all the people who have died in this demonstration, they are all victims of the police brutality.
Yeah.
They were shot. There is no single individual. And I challenge Khalwale and Kagucha here to produce any individual who has been killed who doesn't have a gun wound. I challenge them to produce. Number two, I raised the issue of the pre-demonstration statements by none other than Ruto himself. He was seen on TV angry and warning that as the president, he will not allow demonstrations.
He will not allow loss.
That kujeni muone. We have seen a member of parliament, and I have a clip here. If you allow me, I can give you the clip you play. A member of parliament, the member of parliament for Kuria West, came out and said police should shoot those demonstrators. He has not been arrested. The guy is still there. And in Migori, you saw what happened.
Yeah.
One of the victims was from Migori. So these are serious issues that I expected an experienced politician like Bon Khalwale would come and address instead of going into trivial issues.
Yeah.
He is talking about Vihiga. I was not in Vihiga yesterday.
Did you pay anyone 1,000?
We don't pay our people to demonstrate. People just demonstrate on their own.
Trevor.
He has talked about me being in Vihiga. I was not in Vihiga. He has talked about me being in the office of the whip. I was not in the office of the whip. So, Boni Khalwale, please don't be basing your argument on messages you receive. He has shown me the message he received from Vihiga, and apparently the person who sent him the message is a known individual who sends politicians messages for handouts. And even that individual, and I know him by name, I have just employed the son the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, let's focus on serious issues, like the issues Senator Sifuna is raising, that he has not slept. He has been up and about trying to deal with the issues of police brutality, the killings. And the killings are more than the 6 that we are being told. Okay. So many people in Nairobi have been killed by the police brutality. What are we going to do about this police brutality?
Okay.
A member of parliament as senior as Boni Khalwale, who has gone through this process of demonstration and police brutality, should be the last person to glorify police brutality and killings in this country.
All right.
We want to have a situation. Yeah. Please, you know you are the only member of the National Assembly seated among the senators. Senators, we are very responsible people. We don't encourage heckling. You need to listen to me as I talk. We need to promote a culture where we allow Kenyans to enjoy the freedoms they have to enjoy without intimidation by the state, without influence of the police through brutality. Yeah. Let Kenyans enjoy this. Okay. They are trying to come up with a bill to limit the enjoyment of demonstration and freedom of assembly. Yeah. We are saying that you will manage to push through it in the National Assembly. But Kenyans will resist it again. Okay. And I want to say, because Boni Khalwale said you have a parliament to use, the parliament that they are talking about, we have seen what happened. We saw what happened in the National Assembly. Okay. The passage of the finance bill. All right. And even the other day, none other than, let me finish my point. None other than Osoro, who is the majority whip in the National Assembly, came out and said they bought members of parliament. Okay. And that's why Kenyans are angry. Okay. Kenyans are angry because the MPs who are supposed to represent them were bought. Kenyans are angry because the views they presented on the finance bill were ignored.
Yeah.
And the state went ahead and forced that law on the people of Kenya.
Okay.
So what other option do Kenyans have? Okay. They demonstrate. When they go to demonstrate, police are being used to kill them.
Okay.
Where are we heading to as a country?
You know, I said Otsotsi must be a visitor in Jerusalem. He must have come to Kenya this night. And first of all, you can see the kind of attitude that Honorable Senator here demonstrates. He calls me a heckler.
Yeah, because when people are talking, you want to interfere.
Even our viewers can see we have allowed him excessive time to give his points.
It's not your show.
And the person allocating the time. Of course.
Yes, he's the one to allocate you.
Let him finish.
Of course, but Trevor gave me time to speak. When I'm speaking, he's calling me a heckler because I'm the only MP here. Don't you get surprised that I'm the only MP here?
Let's focus on the main discussion here. How does this all end?
You know, Trevor,
yes.
Trevor, I want to educate Kenyans. And Kenyans need to understand the reverse psychology that ODM has been using over years. Number one, they use violence as their trademark, as we have said here before. Number two, those issues that you're hearing them talk about, paying people to cause mayhem in their own demonstrations so that they can attract sympathy, is what they are known for. And that is exactly what they are doing. Those people and those gunwoods you're hearing and those goons you have heard them mention, they know how those goons ended up being in their own demonstrations. In fact, it is clear knowledge and there's credible evidence to show that most of those people who were shot yesterday were actually either shot by policemen who had been paid to shoot and kill by themselves to attract sympathy, or they were paid by themselves.
Where is the evidence?
Let's not make allegations.
Where is the evidence?
That is why, Trevor,
that's why I called him a heckler.
That is why, when Kenyans were forced and they were pushed to go and demonstrate in the roads, my senator here was doing a committee meeting in Parliament and taking tea. My senator here was also in the minorities office taking tea. They were not out there demonstrating. Our senator here in Nairobi only came out in the night to go and count the number of deaths that were meted on their own people by their own arrangement. I want to tell you this. Good Kenyans, we agree we have problems as a country. We agree that there are serious challenges to do with the cost of living. But those challenges are not going to be handled when we mix our issues with the ODM issues. Because ODM, they have their own troubles.
Right.
They have their own violent bitterness of losing an election. Now, if you want to mix our own problems with that of ODM, just know that you're on your own. In fact, don't put your life on the harm's way.
Okay.
Do you know why I say this? Even though we have challenges of high cost of living, you have heard Otosi repeating here, something that has been repeated severally, that the majority whip did say. But can you imagine that you as a Kenyan, when the finance bill on the table or was on the floor of the National Assembly, your member of Parliament, who is now calling you to come and demonstrate, opted to go abroad and get per diem instead of sitting down and helping you to oppose the finance bill that did not believe in. Now, the same member of Parliament, after eating and consuming that money that he took in per diem, if at all that is true, and it has been said by both sides, so could be true, after they did that, now they are calling you to go to the road and demonstrate. At the same time, they are not on the road to demonstrate. Okay. In fact, they are in their offices, conducting their meetings, eating sitting allowances, and then calling off the maandamano in the guise of, we know they are goons who have been hired. And yet they know they are the ones who planted those goons. And there is credible evidence by the way to show that. And that is why the politicians themselves do not go to the road.
How do we end this entire conversation? Because now there's just blame game on one side or the other side. How does this stop?
It is very difficult. Because on the one hand, when the state moves, the other side feels that they are chest thumping because they have the instruments of force. On the other hand, when the other side moves, the side of the state believes they are doing that because they have armless people who they have poured in the streets as sitting targets. So it's not a debate that can end. And this is why I want to repeat that let us test the Constitution. I want to see Article 37 being prosecuted in court. I want to see when we say the people who bear the greatest responsibility, Raila, Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, they are now being arraigned in court. You test Article 37 on them. And Sifuna, I'm not keen on issues of arresting. I am not even keen on Raila being arrested because that is drama. We don't want drama. Just like the way they did it in the ICC. And Sifuna, you are a lawyer. They did not come to Nairobi to arrest Ruto and arrest Raila, Saitoti, and so on. They just gave them a day in court. I would like these people who are responsible to be given a day in court so that we test Article 37 once and for all. Sifuna is challenging me that I called them a coward because he was not here.
Yeah.
I want to repeat. Sifuna and Osotsi are cowards for the following reasons. One, I have already told you their cowardice in respect of these demos. If Sifuna was a guy who leads from the front, he would already have been arrested by now.
I have been arrested.
Osotsi would have been arrested by... Relax. For how long am I going to teach you?
I have been arrested. State facts.
For how long am I going to help you?
I have been arrested, Khalwale.
By now, with all this protraction of what's going on, he would have been arrested, he would have been arraigned in court. In the last round of this demos, when we were NASA, the giants of the struggle, we were arrested, we were arraigned in court. In fact, our cases are still active. Mudama, Johnson, and I. But the cowards, they hide behind so that they then speak about, let's go to court, get a bond for them, I'm a lawyer, and what have you. One, you are cowards. You don't lead from the front. Number two, when it comes to parliament, Osotsi and Sifuna are cowards. They don't face us to debate. They walk out of the house. Instead of sitting there in the house, prosecuting their side of the debate and defeating us. Even if we are going to defeat them because of numbers, let us have their say. And we have our way. Cowards. They ran away from parliament. The biggest test of your cowardice, Sifuna, not Osotsi. You are the Secretary General of ODM. You cannot face Raila. When we were working with Raila as NASA, because we are not cowards, we faced him in the eye and we told him, we've come this far, but sir, when it comes to you taking an illegal oath, we disagree. We disagreed with Raila. And do you know why Osotsi? Not Osotsi. Osotsi is okay. Why Sifuna cannot face Raila? Because Sifuna is not electable. Sifuna is a beneficiary of ethnic mobilization in Nairobi. Sifuna was not being elected as Sifuna, but because Raila was mobilizing the Luhya community in Nairobi, they had to put there a name. But left on his own in Bungoma, he was defeated 3 times. He is not electable. So, Sifuna, with due respect, when you want to talk about balls, don't talk about balls of a cockerel. Talk about the balls of a man.
Okay.
Let
Sifuna respond. Let him respond, then I'll come to you. So
first of all, you know, like for me as SG of ODM, as a Senator of Nairobi, I don't need to defend anything. I think my record is out there in public. This is not the first demonstration that we have led. Kenyans know. In fact, this jacket is a very famous jacket, other than the T-shirt that the police went with. I have led from the front. And we don't go out there to be arrested because we don't go out to break the law. I personally understand the bounds of Article 37. Khalwale doesn't know that, in fact, Article 37 has already been litigated in court, and the courts have pronounced the bounds of Article 37. All these small things that he throws around, how many years am I, Khalwale? Does he know? I am the age of some of his children. I cannot have run in 3 elections. How? How? Unless I started running when I was 17. Number 2, in Nairobi, when the votes were finally counted and announced, Edwin Sifuna received the highest number of votes. I got more votes than Sakaja. I got more votes than Ruto. That should tell him something. You cannot call somebody who is in Senate with you unelectable. Number 3, Khalwale, I actually have been arrested. I was arrested in Kiambu in the first last round of Maandamano, and you don't understand how people end up arraigned in court, because there's somebody called the Office of a Prosecutor who has to weigh the evidence that has been presented against you and make a decision whether that case is sustainable. The DPP made that decision. It was not Sifuna. I am not the DPP. He made the decision that there was no evidence to link me to the violence that you are accusing me when you arrested me to go to Kiambu. But Trevor, we have said a few things. That number 1, we are no longer going to explain ourselves. We don't have that luxury anymore, because it's like talking to a stone. Somebody here says, oh, your MP was absent during the vote. Talk about the vote you took yourself, Kagushia, because that was a positive step you took to impose a pain on your people. I can assure you, Kagushwa, that if you went to your own constituency right now, your people don't support the decision that you took, because they have told us that they are unhappy with the extra taxation that was taken. Even if all our members were present, and we have seen it even in the Senate, Trevor, I was not elected to convince people to do the right thing. The right thing should come to you as a matter of course. Nobody is there to persuade Khalwale to vote for extra allocation of money to Kakamega County. When the bill comes, Trevor, can you imagine what these people are saying? A bill has come, you are a senator, you are elected to do only one job, to get extra money for your county. Our own committee in Senate has said, let us give counties 407 billion shillings. Ati Sifuna is expected to be there on the floor to convince Khalwale to add money to his own county of Kakamega. That money is not coming to Sifuna. Khalwale votes to deny Kakamega money. Then he comes here to tell people that, oh, Sifuna is a coward. You are the biggest coward.
Where is the money?
You are the biggest coward, because you cannot, in the face of your the choice between the rights of your own people, Kagushia, and the directive that you have received from State House, you chose to capitulate because you fear William Ruto. Who's the coward here? Number 2, Trevor, we have spoken about anti-facing Raila. I have said here before that I wish we allowed cameras in ODM meetings, because Raila has created an environment where people can speak freely. He ran away from the oath of office, the swearing in of Raila, and is accusing me, who was present to swear in Baba because we believed Baba won the election, of cowardice. I mean, what logic do these people employ? Where is the logic there? Khalwale and Musalia disappeared because for us, we had been threatened, we had been told we were going to be shot. We were ready for whatever it is the state was going to throw to us. We showed up because the people knew that was the right thing to do. I am telling you, Khalwale, stop talking. Today, you and Kagushia go and get the entire army of the Kenya Defense Forces if you want. I will give you the location of Raila. Come and arrest him. You people are cowards. Stop talking and threatening us. Next week, we are with you on the streets. You can arrest me now. You can arrest me now. Take me to court. You don't take people to court to test a law. You take somebody. Khalwale, you are a seasoned lawyer. You are a seasoned politician. You should know how the criminal justice system works. You don't take somebody to court. You don't take somebody to court. Let us just find out how Article 37 works. No. That is not how court processes matters of criminal conduct. You have evidence, you have the facts, you weigh the facts and the evidence, and then you take it to a magistrate and say, Sifuna uprooted the railway. Yeah. On this day, he was here uprooting the railway. Okay. If you are saying that I have paid goons, there is a trace. You can trace money. How money moves if it was sent on mobile phone, if I gave them cash, you have to show what we call a causal link. Yeah. And again, I'm falling into this trap of educating the uneducatable. I am not going to do it anymore. For us, Trevor, once we agree on a cause of action and we know we are right by the law and by the people, we are going to proceed. We will not explain to the constitutional illiterates what Article 37 means and the bounds of that article. So we're going to proceed.
You said the next week it's going to be 3.
From Monday, we will have protests, and this is the reason. We have received communication from some Kenyans. They are saying that sometimes you schedule this Maandamano on a day that is not convenient for me, but I would like to come. So we are introducing shifts. If you are free on Monday, come and let's demonstrate. Then allow others to demonstrate on Tuesday, those who are free on Tuesday, and on Wednesday. But for those of us who are here every day, we are going to have Maandamano from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Every week until that ostrich pulls its head out of the sand and listen to
But what is the end game, Sifuna? What does this change?
The end game, Trevor, we have said here that we have used all the language we know. We have tried persuasion. We have even tried mediation through the fake dialogue that was initiated by Ruto. We committed our all to have that conversation with these people. They refuse to listen. You bring a bill and then you claim to engage the public in participation on the creation of that bill. 99% of the people come and tell you that this is something that we do not want. You trash all their views, Trevor, and yet you exercise power on their behalf. Kagusha cannot tell you on this show that the people that he represents wanted that new taxation, that they are now enjoying the extra taxation. They pontificate about being people who are believers in the rule of law. Even today, Trevor, the fuel outside here is being sold at a higher price in contempt of a court. Then you come and tell us you are the rule of law president. They don't even know what rule of law means. Okay. So what we are saying, Trevor, until you listen to the people, we will grab that ostrich by the scruff of its neck and pull its head out of the sand until they listen to the people.
Okay, Osotsi. Osotsi has
you know my brother here, whom I respect so much. In fact, before I joined politics, I used to like Halwale so much.
You don't like
after?
One, because I thought Halwale is very brave.
Yeah.
But the few moments I've served with him in the Senate, I have come to realize that he's a coward. And I want to give you 3 instances.
Yeah.
The Senate of cowards.
The first instance, I want to give you 3 instances. The first instance is what Senator Sifuna has alluded to. You know, Halwale is a member of the Finance and Budget Committee that sat, interviewed everyone they had to interview, and agreed anonymously that they want to go with the shareable revenue of 407 billion. And he signed. His signature is on that document, that report. But when it came on the floor, he went by the position of the government of 385 billion. Reason being, he had been intimidated to go for a lower figure for his county. And being the whip, he whipped everyone else to support a wrong thing, a bill that was going to reduce allocation to counties. That is the first instance that I knew that my brother here is not as brave as I thought. The second instance was when recently when we were going through the impeachment of the CIA deputy governor. We all agreed in a bipartisan manner, because Senate operates in a bipartisan manner, that indeed there were grounds to impeach the deputy governor. And all his members in the committee signed and agreed they were going to impeach the deputy governor.
Yeah.
But when it came on the floor, it is Halwale who was called and threatened and told to make sure that that motion is defeated. That was the second level of cowardice. The third one, we now have a very serious matter in court, the so-called Omtata case, where Omtata is questioning the non-involvement of Senate in the budget-making process. The case is in court. And Omtata has very good grounds. And most of us senators are supporting him. But yesterday, the liaison committee, which is headed by the deputy speaker, they sat and agreed that they are going to suspend committee operations. Why? Because they reject the budget allocated to the Senate for committee functions. Halwale is the leader of that group. So these are issues that Boni can sit down with his party leader, William Ruto, and tell him this is wrong. Why have you reduced the budget of the Senate? And something will be done about it. But now, because they fear their leader, they have come to the Senate and they want us to carry their baggage. We are saying that Senate has a role in the budget-making process. And Halwale knows that. The problem we have here is that Halwale is not himself. We know that this guy, his ideology resonates with Azimio. What we are doing. His ideology is pro-people. But because of that small position that he has been given of the majority whip, he wants to pretend that he can he can play the game he's playing.
Okay.
But aside from that, Khalwale
you need to allow him to respond.
Aside from that, Khalwale issue,
yes.
Let's not trivialize this matter. You know, when this gentleman called Kagusha from Nyeri talks, he talks about ODM, Raila, and all that. He always trivializes issues. The issues that Kenyans are expressing themselves in the demonstration are beyond Raila Odinga. They are beyond ODM. They are beyond Azimio. Even yesterday, you saw, demonstrations were held in areas which are not traditionally Azimio areas. Even Nyeri, where he comes from. I saw something in Muranga. I saw something in Meru. I saw something even in Northeastern. Areas which are not traditionally strongholds of Azimio. Something happened there. And I want to tell you today that the shape these demonstrations is taking, it is not going to be people-driven. Raila can decide to stay at home.
Correct.
But people will still go on the streets to demonstrate because this government is not listening.
Okay.
It is not listening. As Sifuna said, 99% of the people who presented their views on finance bill say they didn't want that finance bill. But they went ahead, bulldozed the bill through the National Assembly, through bribery and intimidation and all manner of tricks, and had it passed. Okay. They talk in a chest-thumping manner every time they stand up and said, lazima tuongeze ushuru, lazima tufanye nini, regardless of what Kenyans feel. And when they say that they are addressing the cost of living, he has talked about them addressing. Look at the policies they have come up with. When they say they want to ensure the dollar rate goes down, and the solution to that is getting into a government-to-government oil deal with Saudi Arabia. Has that had any impact? Zero impact. Okay. In fact, the dollar is going up and up. When they say the solution to addressing food prices is importation of cereals and other edible oil and whatever, you have seen what has happened. It was just an avenue to allow cronies of Kenya Kwanza, like Moses Kuria, to be involved in corruption, which they have not addressed. So Kenyans are tired because there are no solution to cost of living. They are not listening to Kenyans. Then they have a right to demonstrate. But when they demonstrate, they need to be given the space to demonstrate peacefully, not interference from the state.
Very quickly, I want to agree with my two colleagues from Azimio that this is a very emotive issue. And let me tell Sifuna, you can get me wrong and catch me wrong on many things, but not on facts. Yes, Sifuna, when I say you are not electable, I'm not saying it because I hate you. It's because I know you tried twice in Bungoma to become
Which year and which year? We were saying, talk about facts. Which year and which year?
This has got nothing to do with personality.
Don't be angry.
We're talking about bigger issues.
Don't discuss me. Discuss the issues.
We're talking about the bigger issues.
You're not here to discuss the
focusing on solutions.
You can come to my house, we can discuss each other.
I'm responding. I can come to your house, or you can
or I can come to yours, and then we discuss
I have a home, you have a house.
It doesn't matter. I will also grow old, Khalwale, at some point. Growing old is not anything that makes you special. We all grow old.
So wait, when you have a home, is when you can then invite me to your home.
A home is just an old house.
So how does this all end?
On a serious note, on a serious note, I expect Sifuna, if indeed he's a polished lawyer, he's a qualified lawyer, but if he's a polished lawyer, he should understand what we mean by political responsibility. Sifuna, while you are away, I said that when Ruto president and Uhuru president were arraigned at the ICC, they were not carrying machetes or firing guns. They went there because of bearing the greatest political responsibility. And therefore, when Raila will be arraigned in court, he'll be there because he'll be bearing the greatest responsibility. They say in English, Osoti, that ignorance is bliss. When you talk about you and Sifuna, when you talk about the DORA bill, which in law means the division of revenue between the two levels of government, that bill, Kenyans, does not attempt to take money to counties per se. It is a bill for dividing revenue between the two levels of government. You divide the resources which are in the basket. So, in the process of debating that bill, you go through the stages of taking views from the Council of Governors, from the Commission of Revenue Allocation, and as legislators, to say, this is the money we have in the basket, let us share it in these ratios. We did it successfully, and thanks for that sobriety, today, there is no single county out of the 47 that has got a pending arrears. All counties have been paid out, up to and including additional revenue. My brother Osoti, you talk about the issue of impeachment of the Deputy Governor of Siaya. You are right. We have agreed, and Sifuna and I have shared one impeachment committee. We have agreed that on such a serious issues, like removing a governor, deputy governor from office, or removing a president, we have to approach it with bipartisan. But when you are doing it, please, I formed the committee. I gave you 6 able senators to help 5 able senators from the minority to make a determination. Yeah. My work ended as the whip. So, when you come and mislead the country that the vote to remove the deputy governor was unanimous, you are being economical with the truth. The truth is 11 people voted to make that decision in the committee. 6 voted to remove the deputy governor. 5 voted to oppose removal. And when they came to the House, the leader of the majority, Cheruyot, and the chief whip, Khalwale, we never debated. We carefully kept out of the debate, and we listened to all these honorable members making the decisions. Okay. And then the vote came, they were lost. You have raised the important issue of the Omtata case. Just like the signatures that you people are collecting, the Omtata case is now being used to walk unsuspecting members of the public up the garden path. How? When Kenyans are signing those signatures, they think they are signing to remove the president. They are being walked up a garden path. There's no such a law. Similarly, the Omtata case, Kenyans think the Omtata case is dealing with lowering of some of the tax measures that were okayed by Parliament. No, the Omtata case is just asking the courts to make a determination whether it was right for those tax measures to become law without the participation of the Senate. Okay. So, leaders like you, if you are not giving facts to the members of the public, it's just a matter of time before it catches you. It was Professor Ada Obel, my professor of medicine, who taught me that never worry when you are following facts. The facts of life always catch up with you. Finally, and my brother Osoti, I invite you to Nyeri in the next round of Mandamanos. If the people of Nyeri will do what they did yesterday, then they should be used to teach the people of the other regions that were violent on how it is done. Because they were demonstrating against the prizes.
All right.
They were using rope.
Yeah.
They were skipping. They were playing soccer. And what have you?
Okay.
They were not destroying property.
Right. Gentlemen, we're running out of time here, but Kagusha, when I come back, now I want to take a bit of feedback. Then when I come back, now we talk about solutions. How does this all end? We've tried bipartisan talks, it has failed. What next? But let's see what the Kenyans are saying, because they're the people who present. Quite a lot of them are speaking.
Just to close this round, what I want to say...
I've not spoken.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
Yes.
I want to say, number one,
okay.
I am one person who does not advocate for arrests,
okay.
by the way.
Mumeanza woga. You are starting to run away from your own position.
For me,
arrest us.
I'm very consistent, and there's a reason. These ODM politicians, most of the times what they want is a drama.
Always talk about ODM.
Is a drama. And that drama, they want to get it from those kind of arrests and, of course, from those violent demonstrations. And arresting these politicians is playing into their own narrative, into their own hands. So I would advise government, please don't arrest the ODM politicians. Instead, let us still persuade Kenyans, because I believe there's a cost to persuade Kenyans. And I keep asking Kenyans, please, I know there are challenges, and I've said that for sure, there are challenges. Okay. But don't mix your challenges with the bitterness of Azimio that lost their election. We are listening to Kenyans, and I would want to say this. My brother Sifuna here has said that I voted yes for finance bill, and yes, I did, and with reasons. And of course, why we are voting in, or we were voting for finance bill, and of course the ODM guys ran away. I'm told they went out of the country. I was getting very surprised when I was not seeing them in the parliament. Actually, they went out of the country. How can you miss to see 80 people? Now, you see, the finance bill that we are voting for, and I want Kenyans to really understand, we are not voting for the finance bill to fleece Kenyans. We are voting for finance bill to help Kenya to get out of the hole where it has been.
Amen.
Sifuna has said that there was a problem with senators who refused to vote for more money to the counties. But the question also is, and this is where the hypocrisy is, you're voting for more and more money to the county governments, which is okay, which I would also want to support, but where is that money coming from? Where is that money coming from?
We'll show you.
You see, the Handshake brothers ensured that they had borrowed so much so that the money we are collecting today, we are using it to pay the debts. Now, for me as Kagusha, why did I vote for finance bill? It's because the people of Mukurweini are waiting for the Shamara Dangade Gakonya road. They are waiting for
Did they agree with you?
They are waiting for Gakonya road. They are waiting for Kiranero, Karundu, Guyoine road. They are waiting for 2 roads in Gakendu.
Can you confidently say that they agreed with your position?
They are waiting for those roads. And that is why I'm telling them, let us see and get ways of collecting more money instead of course, borrowing just too much.
Okay.
We reduce the borrowing and we collect more money so that we are able to do these roads. Because otherwise, if we don't collect, how are we then going to deliver to the people? And I can tell you, our brothers here had hoped and wished, because they left the coffers empty, we would survive beyond the 3rd month. Now we are surviving. We are almost 1 year. And of course, things are a bit difficult. But I have said here again, it is darkest before dawn. Kenyans, listen to Kenya Kwanza government. Listen to us. Let the economy be made. William Samoei Ruto is committed to ensuring that the economy of this country is revived. You can see the way he's working tirelessly. Yesterday, he signed a very important deal with Iran on export of tea. Especially what we call the Orthodox tea, which is going to be a very good deal for us as a country. I want to ask Kenyans, please, even though things are difficult, wait, the government is doing whatever it is possible to ensure that things get back to track. Do not get mixed with the bile and the bitterness of ODM. Why? You will end up putting your life on the harm's way. And when you are out there, you don't know which bullet will hit you. You don't know whether it's a policeman's bullet, or you don't know whether it's a goon hired by the ODM that will hit you. And because it's not clear, please don't get into their demonstrations. If it is necessary to protest, which is okay, do it the Nyeri way, do it maybe the Siaya way. Ensure that you are as I mean, you're not getting into the violence that you have seen.
Agreed.
And of course, when we are talking, when we are talking of the issue of the finance bill again, remember, we have doubled the amount of money that is released to the students for higher education loan board. And what we are asking is, if you don't collect this money, how then are you going to support students who are in the universities with the higher education loan board? We are increasing the money for JSS. How are you going to support JSS if you don't have the money?
What you do,
the finance
I want us to stop this.
The last comment, the finance bill, Kenyans, is not to fleece Kenyans, is not to make your life unbearable. And by the way, most of Kenyans, what I have heard them say, they are okay with collection of money if the money is going to be used I have heard Kenyans say they will give taxes if the taxes are used properly. And the opposition need to come at that point now to ensure that they are oversighting government on use of the
money properly.
But not to cut the government from
that's done. Sifuna.
Trevor, first of all, I want to give him some breaking news here that they have arrested the member of parliament from Ovoko. So just don't shout. I can even decide to donate my time to you because you have what we call warped logic. What you are trying to explain, it doesn't make any sense. And Kagusha, I wish you were sweating like this on the floor of the House to defend the positions you took. For instance, to explain to Kenyans why you think the people of Mukurweini deserve to pay housing levy, to pay extra on fuel. The people of Mukurweini expect those roads. Just a minute.
Let him finish.
The people of Mukurweini expect those roads because they already were paying taxes. What they are protesting is extra taxation at a time when they are finding it difficult to survive. You are saying you are surviving. But the people of Mukurweini are not surviving. They are barely hanging on. If you had listened to those people, in fact, today, if you run a poll in Mukurweini, ask them if they want to eat or they want to see that road you are talking about and bring us the results. Number two, Trevor, we have public record here. When we spoke about the additional resources to the counties, we know where that money was coming from because in that same bill, the additional money that was going to central government, by the way, for roles that actually devolved, was 360 billion shillings, additional from the money that they received last year of almost 2 trillion shillings. What we were asking for is less than 10% of that 360. We are asking only for an additional 22 billion shillings from the share that was going to the national government. In this particular finance bill, the National Assembly added the counties only 15 billion shillings, at the same time adding the national government 360 billion shillings. We in Azimio thought that that was unjustifiable, and that is why we were hoping that Khalwale would have the balls to vote for money for people of Kakamega. But he doesn't have them. Number three, the case that is in court, Trevor, by Senator Omtata, is actually challenging the legality of a law. And if the court finds that the law is illegal or unconstitutional, the entire bill will collapse, Khalwale. That is how this thing works. Number three, there is a saying, a Latin saying, when they teach you law. I am sure one of your children should be a lawyer. I suspect that one of them must have found themselves into the legal profession. So, because you deal with quantities, it is a matter of probability. I am sure some of them have ended up in the legal profession just by the fact of the numbers you are putting out. Inevitably, one of them must be a lawyer. They will tell you there is something called there is a Latin saying. There is a Latin saying, Khalwale, that crimen Nalam crimen sin lieg. It means there can be no crime if there is no law. Criminal law is so specific that it has to prescribe the act and the punishment. So there is no crime under our Kenyan laws called political responsibility. There is no such law. So what you do, Khalwale, if you feel that you have looked at the entire criminal book, the penal code, and you can't find a crime to pin on Sifuna or to pin on Honorable Raila Odinga, you can use your numbers in parliament, like you're introducing this new bill on limiting the rights of protest. Then maybe you can introduce this crime called political responsibility. But as we sit here, Trevor, there is no such law. Kagusha says, he didn't see members of ODM during the debate. I remember you guys covered it live, the debate on the finance bill. You remember members of ODM, people like Mbadi, teaching the law to people like Agusha, the difference between zero rating and VAT exemption, It was people from ODM like Nasama Tandi explaining to them the impact of this law. I didn't see Kagusha. In fact, I want to see a clip of Kagusha just to demonstrate that, first of all, he understands what the people of Mukurweini want, and number two, he understands the sort of punishment that he has imposed on his own people. This is a shame that we live with Kagusha. You cannot run away from it. Finally, Trevor, we want to say this, that we are not unreasonable people. You know, sometimes people look at you and they think that this Sifuna is crazy. We are not crazy. It depends on the approach that you come with us. Those demonstrators who are skipping rope in Nyeri, what would be their reaction if, while they are skipping rope, not bothering anybody, somebody comes and just drops a canister of tear gas in the middle there? If, for instance, I say that on Monday, when we go to Kamkunji on Monday, we are only going to skip rope, will these people allow us to skip rope at Kamkunji? That is the question. What is this one ingredient that was missing in Siaya, that was missing in Meru, that was missing in Nyeri? What is that ingredient? It is the absence of police action. And that's what we are saying. All you need to do, Trevor, we have spoken about this thing so many times. I am even tired of explaining it. All you need to do, allow 1 day of zero police interference in peaceful protest and see a different result here in Nairobi. We have done it before. Okay. When we came to swear in Raila Odinga, when he ran away, him and Musalia were cowering somewhere, maybe in one of their homes. He has told us he doesn't have houses, he has homes. So I don't know which one they chose to hide under. Boss, we finished that swearing in. People left and went home. Not a single stone was thrown. Not a single business was destroyed. And people went home because we understand that right. Okay. When you say you should not be armed, nobody comes from home with stones. Nobody comes from home with stones and says, oh, now I'm armed, I'm going to destroy a house. I am going to throw stones at the police. We come to the streets like this. You have seen us, Trevor. You have been there. I walk into the streets of Nairobi like this from the front. I have been tear gas just walking on the road with members of parliament. There is a day we walked from the National Assembly side to the office of the Deputy President. We wanted to say hi to him and give him a petition containing the issues of the people, because that is what the law allows. I was tear gas there, and these things are known. They are there. What crime had I committed? I was armed with a people's petition. So what we are saying is this. We are tired of being mischaracterized, and we're no longer going to defend ourselves. You can call us all these names because you have called us all these names for years. ODM is violent, all so and so. And we have seen even confessions from people from within their ranks, like one time when Mike Sonko confessed that these are the things they used to do to paint ODM as a violent party. They would hire old cars and go and burn them on Gong Road. Then they say, oh, destruction of property. We will protect life and limb. And we have said these people, they just talk because they know they'll stand behind the police. These people like in Gachagua, I really want to meet this Gachagua man, just him and me. We see this bravado that he has. Where does it get it from? Where does he get it from? We leave all our police protectors behind and just have a conversation with him. I would really enjoy that, because they do that knowing full well that they will have people shooting at us in front. What we want to do, Trevor, we are not unreasonable people. When the Ruto called for talks, we assembled a team, we came to the table, we tried to talk to these gentlemen. They didn't know what they were doing. They were confused all of the time. They couldn't even make simple decisions like which color of tea we are going to drink today. They have to call the president every 10 minutes. Oh, Sifuna is saying this, what should we do? They don't have any wherewithal to handle the sort of negotiations that we wanted to have. So if indeed the president listens to his people, don't listen to Sifuna. We have said that. Don't listen to Raila. Listen to the people of Mukurweini. They are telling you they are hungry. Please scrap this finance bill. And this will be the end of the matter.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. We have to leave it there. We've run out of time. Thank you very much. We don't even have time for feedback because you all took the time on that. And thank you, gentlemen, for making time this morning. We'll do this again next week. And we are trying to balance all the time. Have a good morning. All right? Bye.